rinse and repeat from the game that we just saw. Always love me some Sky Temple. Although, personally, I do have to confess that when I play Hero League or Team League, I'm usually not enjoying Sky Temple as much as the other maps right now. My favorite probably still remains Tomb of the Spider Queen, which we see a pretty rare or pretty low number of in HGC China. Pretty unusual.
Very true. Very true indeed. I mean, my favorite to play is still probably Towers, just because it's fun and
that's a good one.
You always have a chance for a comeback. As Genji starts off removed, there goes Jaina. Wonder if any of these teams ended up watching European Open Division and stole strategies from there.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm referring to, especially on this map.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so Jaina has basically found her way outside of China to the other regions too, especially Open Division.
I'm suggesting that perhaps the teams have been spying a little bit on IQ 129 and might decide that, you know what, this strategy might work in our region. And if so, there are two heroes that either of these teams could pick now.
All right. I'm liking it. Genji once again getting banned. Like, it's crazy to see how Genji has risen in banning popularity again, right? After his change, after his nerf, especially on the Swift Strike, people thought, you know, he would be less impactful, like way less impactful, but looks like the hero is still pretty darn fine.
Yep, turns out he still kills things, so no issues there. Yrel, however, still seems to be out of the banning phase in particular. So she comes in here with the Deckard Cain.
Deckard Cain and Yrel, it's going to be a lot of protection already. We saw the great combo potential, the great healing synergy in last game, actually, when RPG picked it. Gift of the Naru was picked, and I think it had great value, especially when it comes to keeping Deckard alive, and he's focused down by the enemy team. Let's see if they can repeat that combo and the success of it. For now, A-Team, what are they going to respond with? Phoenix here, Malthael reporting for duty. We basically saw how Malthael was able to at least hold his own against an Yrel in lane, if well played, of course.
This seems to be the usual theme. Both of these heroes, in fact, are the ones who have held the lane most against Yrel's. That seems like a pretty clutch idea, using a neck pillow when playing.
I think it's the first time Oasis is actually using it.
I think so. It's probably a good idea. Maybe he expects to die a lot in the game, and he's just going to try and take power naps as the game goes. Clutch moves. Either way, we still need some range damage, but in terms of bans, it's probably going to be a main tank. In terms of what team that will ban away from the A-Team.
Could that be a new trend in esports, by the way? Having like team-branded neck pillows? Like a Fnatic want to dig into us one? I would buy one of those.
I've never really found neck pillows that comfortable, but I like the idea. I'd have like a normal pillow.
And then we're going to have gamers neck pillows with special grip to keep you warm and, I don't know.
Ergonomic
There's like gamer goodies.
Tunnel.
Aren't there like so many gamer accessories that are not really needed? Like you got gamer gloves, you got gamer food, gamer pills.
The best branding thing I ever saw, and I'm going to mention a company name here, hopefully don't get in trouble, is I was at an event in the UK, and it started snowing.
Yeah.
Yep, like snowing so bad when the majority of the sleeping at the event was outdoor camping, and it was snowing like 4 or 5 inches.
Okay.
People's tents were collapsing under the weight of the snow. So for starters, they bought the event, opened up another hall for people to bring their tents in and sleep inside. But what this company did with one of the company's Razer exhibiting there, they apparently had looked at the weather ahead of time and commissioned over 1,000 Razer-branded scarves.
That's pretty amazing.
The best planning. Really good planning. And they were just giving them out for free because, well, for starters, everyone needs them. And for second, now literally everyone in the venue is wearing something Razer-branded. It was the best thing. It was the most effective marketing thing I'd seen in a very long time.
There we go. Using the weather forecast and win on multiple fronts. Well played. Well played. All right. If only they make good headsets, though. Excuse me. Back to the draft here. A-Team is now coming in. So we've got 2 more picks left to go. They need a main tank. Muradin is still left for grabs. Although picking a high HP tank into a garage is into the Tychus is always a little bit of a problem, right? The more HP your tank has, the more he's going to get shredded. I think a garage would still be fine, though, to be honest.
Probably. The Johanna's always an issue when you're running a garage. I wouldn't mind just Muradin. Just play it safe. Yeah, again, I would always play safe. In terms of against this composition, Cassia, a noob that's not playing safe, but it's playing interesting.
Alrighty, and we talked about high HP tanks and how they struggle against a Tychus sometimes. Well, a Nubarak is probably one of the best tanks you could hope for against the Tychus, right? The only thing you need to be really on the lookout for is the moment Tychus changes into Odin mode, because then his auto attacks are going to tear you down. But before that, he's going to be very, very efficient, with the beetles sometimes getting into the way of certain stutter step animations if the player doesn't click carefully and doesn't target prioritize carefully. I like it, to be honest. Also, keep in mind, Tetcher, Cocoon onto an Odin, as long as you don't drop it in the build-up phase where he is unstoppable, could be really, really nice to basically make them waste a lot of the duration.
I mean, Tychus has to be the Cocoon target because look at the other heroes.
Otherwise, he's going to
got attack speed good enough to actually burn through that Cocoon. Urel, slow hammer strikes. Decade, slow cane strikes. Johanna, slow mace strikes. Their last hero better have some decent attack speed, or that Cocoon's going to be a nightmare. And there it is. Disintegrate Li Ming, the classic counter.
The classic counter indeed. Well said. So we're going to definitely see a Disintegrate on the side of Li Ming. So whenever a target that is not Li Ming is going to be put and wrapped in the Cocoon, she's going to just make it explode. The opposite, of course, could happen if Li Ming gets put into the Cocoon and Tychus is in Odin format. He's going to use his auto attacks, which are super fast, like a Tracer, like a Tassadar, and he's going to shred that Cocoon to pieces. So, are we going to see the Locust Swarm? Is it time?
Nope. I think it's still going to be the dive seems like it would be pretty decent, but there's so much crowd control that even with Locust Swarm, you're going to get shredded by Tychus, while you just get CC'd to death. I think you just wait for Tychus to drop the Odin, then you Cocoon Li Ming and just dive in.
No, absolutely true. Absolutely true. I think we're still going to see the Cocoon. And it's not like, you have this perfect anti-counter play every single time. Sometimes you catch someone off guard. Sometimes the team is not really fully formed yet on the opposing side. So I think Cocoon is still the overall more valuable heroic ability.
Yeah. Do you want to hear my theory about how you play around this?
Go for it.
Don't go Odin.
To be honest, I'm totally down with you. I'm playing a lot of Tychus myself, and I think when you need the minigun or the Cocoon Shredder, you should go for the laser. It's actually not that terrible, the Dragon Laser drill.
Yeah, the only issue is you can walk away from it, but you can walk away from a Dragon Strike and people keep picking that. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side is TeamNut with no on Li Ming and FS on the Johanna, Faye on the Urel, Oasis on Tychus, and the Tui is playing Decade Kane.
All right, and here we go. Their opponents. In the reds, it's going to be the A-Team with Jaina. Not on Jaina, but on Phoenix this time. Cassie being played by Olele. Then we have Bruiser on that Malthael. Stukov is playing Malfurion. And Uncle G on the main tank on Anubarak. And I believe, Tetra, that is the first Anubarak game that we have seen yet with Uncle G on that hero.
I mean, it's the first Anubarak game we've seen in HGC China
this
season, at least. Full stop. So cool to see Uncle G. For starters, he keeps only playing Diablo, so it's nice to see some variance there because it got banned away. Let's see if he can play another hero, or whether that Diablo priority was due to preference or due to necessity. That is what we will have to see.
Keep in mind that Anubarak has undergone some changes there as well. Actually, it's a little risky to use all those stuns in quick succession because you may be exactly there. You may have needed to interrupt the jump. So normally with a gank, that is the perfect way to go, right? You stun, and you have the perfect CC chain. But against an Irel, you may want to time, especially the Impale, a little more wisely. So just as a learning reference there. But of course, it's always easier said than done, right? Because if I had played Anubarak, I probably would have played the exactly same way. So just a little bit of adjustment needed. Also, I wanted to highlight that Anubarak, and one of the potential reasons why he's not really that favored anymore, is the fact that he no longer has the baseline magic armor. Instead, he only gets the magic armor when he uses his W, his shield.
which is still pretty cool.
Still pretty cool,
Makes
yeah.
a little bit more reactive play, especially against someone like Li Ming, so I do not mind that at all. Also, I would like to just point out here, if I ever seem distracted when looking at Yrel in lane, it's because I am literally just replaying the Hawkeye video in my head with the music and all every time I see Yrel.
It is a glorious one. Still doesn't
only a
beat
heretic can
Into
say
the
that.
Water Dragon, but
Ooh, I mean, I still quite like the Nazebo one.
that's a good one too.
The Walking Zombie, Walking Dead, I think it was. Karazim one, of course. Really good.
We love Hawkeye, man. I had the
We
pleasure
do.
of meeting him at...
Oh, you met him?
Yeah, I've met him. I think it was at BlizzCon last year. And he's an awesome dude. I think he's from Argentina. And I definitely thought he was from Europe. But nope. Argentina represent, or South America represent, making good YouTube videos about Heroes of the Storm. I like it.
I'm jealous, dude. Like,
Oh,
have
he's
been
super nice. He's one of the
lucky.
nicest dudes I know.
I've been very much lucky enough to have people who are fans of me and treat me like like someone who should be paid attention to. I would absolutely fanboy over Hawkeye. I love good editing. As we see Uncle D pulling back here for now, they do need to deal with this camp as theirs was cleaned up very quickly. But their wave, their heroes aren't really in position. They have Fend, and that's about it right now.
Yeah, and TeamNut, they're putting on the pressure here in the top lane. They're actually not letting go of the A-Team. They're definitely destroying some towers there with the help of their mercenaries, providing magic armor as well to nearby heroes. But in return, the A-Team is actually getting decent value done in the bottom half of the map. The bottom lane struggling and suffering quite a bit now. Temples have been activated, and TeamNut already positioned themselves quite well there. Actually taking down the healing fountain, which is so important. Fei Yi, in the meantime, getting bullied by Jaina on the Phoenix.
Lele pinging in a couple Lightning Furies there, getting those stacks up as best he can. Already doing a pretty decent job with that. Both teams dueling out here. XP slightly in favor of the A-Team for the moment. TeamNut were taking quite a lot of those mid
Oh, this
shots.
might be a kill? Never mind.
Takes the expressway over the wall.
Yeah, I think the main problem for TeamNut here was actually the fact that they didn't have a single frontliner to basically hold, you know, the line there to maybe initiate a team fight. Johanna was actually kept busy in the bottom lane dealing with the mercenaries and Malthael, and Yrel was having her own issues with Phoenix in the middle temple. So as a result, 3 squishies into an Anubrak and a Cassia and a Malfurion is not really a wise trade, not really a wise move.
We see it too. He is going to get absolutely destroyed here. No, actually.
Kane, by the way.
Great little scroller ceiling. Decker Kane gets out of there. Meantime, FS is getting 1v1. Johanna not known for her 1v1 capabilities, and as such, she does lose, but she's able to delay long enough for the minions to get cleaned up, and as such, Malthael has to stop pushing, at least temporarily.
Absolutely true. So the hold is real up to this point for TeamNut, but look at the A-Team actually taking command and taking the lead in this game. I never thought it would go this way with TeamNut having so much momentum right now and them winning or at least tying so many series in the most recent path. Look at Uncle G there just trying to impose his presence onto the enemy team, but of course not really fully committing to it.
Says hello, then runs away. Decides not to get himself in trouble here. Nice little knockback by Yrel. She's being targeted down. And she goes down. Bruiser with a great pickup kill here. That's actually first blood going over to the A-Team. They're looking smooth so far as Bruiser actually gets out alive after the counter attempt by Noah and Oasis.
I think it's safe to say that Malthael so far today has looked very, very good, especially when played here by the A-Team. They're just dominating every single lane. Bruiser is always there when his team needs him, thanks to On a Pale Horse, which increases his mount movement speed. Very, very good talent when it comes to... I don't want to call him a pseudo-global, but you definitely become one of the quickest rotators in the game. Now, level 10 is here, and what are we going to see here? Tranquility, Cocoon, Salvo, Lightning, Ball Lightning, nothing really out of the ordinary, and they seize the momentum. They seize the initiative right here, right there. They realize, you know what? The enemy team can't touch us right now. They don't even get near the level 10, so we're going to take that boss. But look at the nuts here. They basically try to get some value there as well. And that is something I want to highlight because you don't see that many times, Tetcher, from Chinese teams, right? Instead of just trying to poke around the boss and maybe find a team fight, they're actually going for the macro play. They're definitely capitalizing on the A-Team here being locked in the bottom half, and they take down a fort. Really good play.
They're grabbing a bruiser camp as well, so they were able. So TeamNut able to bust through the top 4. Now looking for a bit of pressure onto the keep. They might not even go for this temple. They have to port back and defend.
Yeah,
but they're just going to let the temple go. Mid fort goes down as well. All 3 forts of TeamNut taken down. So it's all about this boss defense now.
and they still need to deal with that boss. You basically mentioned it there. Look at the Disintegrate, look at the Tychus. That's pretty much formidable damage. And luckily for them, the boss also doesn't really hit that hard on the nut structures. So let's see if they can group up in time, because they definitely don't want to let that bottom temple go uncontested for its full duration, right? So more than 50% of the channel already going in favor of the A-Team, further supporting this boss push. So 2 forts still standing for the A-Team, and none are left for TeamNut. In terms of raw structural damage, they're way behind their opponents right now.
They are for now dropping a couple hits onto Uncle G. Like you said, it's almost a 2-level lead right now. As
crazy.
Partway through their level 12, TeamNut just about to hit level 11.
Yeah.
This is looking rough for TeamNut. They find a big old minion wave though, which is wonderful. They're going to soak that up and immediately give themselves level 11, and they can move up to their own bruiser camp. But Malthael will scout this, and here comes the A-Team.
You know, the thing is, it's not even TeamNut having a poor draft or doing exceptionally, you know, badly in this early game. It's just that the A-Team is on fire today. They're just faster, they're rotating more efficiently, and they always seem to know where their opponents are. Look at what they're doing. They're stealing away all the mercenary camps on the bottom half yet again. They're actually splitting up so they get both camps. They're waiting for the channel there as well for the capture moment to get maximum value. So unusually dominating for the A-Team, a team that used to be pretty much the punching bag for other teams next to RPG.
Question for Mr. Kendrick.
Yes, sir.
I am fully aware that a ancestral healing will still hit a hero that is in a gorge or in a cocoon, I believe.
Yes.
So does Last Rites. Could you, in theory, drop someone low, drop a Last Rites at them, and then immediately cocoon them to prevent them being healed?
I have never seen anyone die in a cocoon, not even if there's a Lunara poison, for example, on a low HP target, so I don't think it's going to work out.
Okay, we will assume not until chat proves us otherwise. Or until I see someone send me a gif of it to show that it's possible, because I am curious about that.
I'm pretty sure Cocoon works similar to a Stitch's Gorge, so basically it denies abilities for the most part, especially damaging ones like the Last Rites.
Well, Ancestral definitely goes through on a Gorge. I have had that issue where Stitch's Gorge is an enemy who's getting Ancestral.
The thing is, I think Ancestral is not a debuff, whereas the Last Rites is a debuff, and those abilities basically cleanse you of every debuff that's currently on you.
Okay. Makes sense. Fair enough. I believe you are probably correct, but I had the curiousness there whether that was a potential combo they could attempt. In the meantime, Temple's being traded out. Tier 2 is already being attacked, though, by the A-Team, whereas all TeamNut are getting out of this. It's some damage onto bottom fort. Not even going to get it all the way.
Just look at how deep they can actually go. The A-Team is so deep in the enemy team's territory that I'm actually flabbergasted. We're on that point again.
Flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted. There we go.
Flubber. It's A's, no U's.
Jaina, run! Oh my goodness, that was so close. I think Tychus had it.
And Faye gets the absorption, moves back in, takes a lot of damage, and as such gets a lot of healing. Good!
Oh my god!
Tui with the beautiful turnaround, and TeamNut have just found their way back into this game. Jaina goes down though. Here comes the Odin. Uncle G is going to the Uncle Graveyard. As Stukov and Jaina, they both are able to retreat, but they're being chased down. D-Mount is there. Oasis with the dash speed, but it's not enough for a kill.
Yeah, not enough for a kill, but definitely enough for that mercenary camp. But here we see the other replay. Now look at that stay a while and listen. It catches absolutely everybody in there. And Tychus is having an absolute inferno going in his way. And the Cocoon arrives a little too late there by Uncle G. He was probably still sleeping. And barely just got out of there in time. He ends up falling there as well. The Beetle had been squashed by the Odin. That's exactly the scenario we talked about when we saw those drafts kick in, right? So I'm glad that Odin was actually picked after all, although, as we said, the laser would have also been a fine choice. But with those heavy-hitting auto attacks, you're going to make sure that the Beetle will regret any greedy and Reckless engages.
Now then, with TeamNut beginning to creep their way back, they're going to hit level 16, even up their talent count. No's in danger though, but Faye in position with that hammer, able to knock back any other attempt onto that Li Ming's life.
All right, and all of a sudden, Tetcher, the team filled of nuts is basically back in the game. They're actually stealing away this Merc camp as well with a determined and furious engage onto the A-Team's backline. They're stealing this Merc camp and they're capturing back objective after objective. They came back in experience as well, 16-16 right now. Are they going to go for this boss though? No, this is too reckless. I was just about to say they could have maybe used the double mercenary camp at the bottom as a distraction, but I don't think they have enough boss shredding to actually clear it fast enough. With a Hanzo, maybe a false set with a Gust, it would have been a different story, but with the assassins and the tools they're given, I think it's a better choice to let it go.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Urel knockback, the Tychus grenade, maybe the sleep, but other than that, they don't really have that much boss control tools, so it's better to let it go and play safe.
Play safe. Let's do it right now. Uncle G is trying to scout out any weakness, any opening in TeamNut's defenses. Going only for the Johanna, though. That's not the target you want to go for.
Yeah, we had a nice arch of potions. There we go. Returns. Adobe just making it very easy for his team to stay sustained around this area while they continue to keep it scouted. Urel soaking in mid lane, so is Bruiser. In comes Uncle G onto Faye, but he's tanking for a good stun there by Uncle G, who gets shredded by Tigers. Not enough there, though, as the salvo comes out. Great damage, good sleep, and that's enough to finish off Olele.
No, so far having an absolute blast, but here comes the counter kill onto the Johanna. Last ride successful. Down goes Malfurion. Tychus is not done chasing just yet. Urel almost gets the slow, but he's too far away. The Phoenix, that is. So they trade 3 for 1. That's a clean kill. And guess what? I don't even think they need Johanna to tank this through. They still have Urel, and they're going for that boss immediately. A good call. But here is another replay of that team fight. Now look at Uncle G. In those moments, if you want to go for that kind of play, you need the Locust form, right? You can't go for these greedy engages into an Odin Tychus, into a Li Ming who's going to bust through your Buck's skin if you only have a Cocoon ready.
You actually saw that Cocoon drop really nicely, but Li Ming, who was disintegrating a Nubrak, realized that Deckard actually had enough damage to finish off the Anubrak, so changed their target immediately from disintegrating the Anubrak to popping that Cocoon, making sure they had the best fight potential that they could. And as such, they were able to take that fight. Now, for the first time in a very long time, TeamNut have the experience lead as the Temple and the boss begin pushing in bot lane.
Yeah, TeamNut is getting a lot of damage down there in that bottom lane. The boss is already knocking on the door of the A-Team. The Temple is giving suppressive supportive fire to basically help take down the gate and towers it a little more quickly. It's probably going to be enough to take down that fort, but the keep is definitely going to survive. Tychus actually had to abort this Temple mission. I'm not really sure. No, he definitely had enough HP, but he was just afraid of A-Team actually rotating through the Temple and going for a gank.
Yeah, no reason for them to really risk dying here. They're way closer to level... Well, not way closer. They're a little closer to level 20 than their opponents.
Yep.
So they're pretty happy to wait for everyone to group up on their team so they can soak level 20 together without the risk of being picked off. Or they could just run at the enemy team point blank. As we see Johanna getting popped out. There's the flesh shield. In comes Faye from over the wall, completely leaving Bruiser behind.
And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. Anubrak no longer has the magic armor, only when the shield is up. But guess what? They just blasted through that shield so quickly. Oasis run away from Olele, but he couldn't do it in time. And Cassia is absolutely wrecking the backline.
Olele's got 2 already, and he wants more. He's chasing forwards, gets blinded, takes your own medicine, Cassia. And as such, no Oasis and whatever it... Sorry, not Oasis. No FS and the 2E are able to escape.
Man, today seems to be the day of Malthael's and Cassia's. So much damage being dealt to the backline. Uncle G gave his life here very early, but so many cooldowns and so many abilities. Look at that beautiful Li Ming damage, by the way, by No. We're used to take down the Beetle, that there was actually a strong reinitiation and a strong re-engage from Bruiser, who actually dodged the stay a while and listen. Oasis taking so much damage there as well, and the Cassia at this point becomes untouchable.
I don't know why they didn't wait, though. There's a nice, another good last rights picking up the kill onto the Rel. But I don't think, I think that was not a good idea. I don't know why they didn't wait for 20. Now the 8 have 20.
Yeah, I think so too. They just need to wait a little bit longer, and then the Storm Tier Talons come online, and they can take a much safer fight than the one they chose here. By the way, excuse me, we see Irel with a Radiating Glory at level 20. She didn't go for the Seraphim this time, which had been the go-to talent pick up to this point. But instead, Irel's Ardent Defender right now is going to heal nearby allies for all the damage absorbed. Which is pretty amazing against Malthael in particular.
And against Phoenix, since everyone's going to take damage in the same area, she's going to heal most of it back up. They get the stun to Uncle G. Uncle G decides to leave. Camp will probably still be stolen. Actually, no, they're going in. FS make sure they guarantee the camp again. Odin pops. This is a pretty good time for the A-Team to leave.
Absolutely true. The big red button means, of course, that that Oasis's Odin will basically persist much longer, but I also like the reaction there by Uncle G. Not panicking on the Anub'arak, you know, cocooning the Odin immediately, but actually realizing, you know what, we're just fine. We can actually just run away, keep the enemy team at bay without wasting any important cooldowns.
As we see the nukes continuing to rain down from above, not finding anyone in the bush though. So Li Ming just going to send out her own form of nuke, aka big old arcane orbs, to do a little bit of damage and start clearing out the minion wave. Uncle G, once again, scouting for his team. Considering he is a Anub'arak, and Anub'arak is actually one of the squishier in terms of heroes in terms of tanks, I'm really proud of him for surviving as long as he has and taking as much poke as he has.
Absolutely. I think Uncle G's and Anub'arak is more than legit here. And we're going to see Irel use her Ardent Defender. There it goes, healing allies nearby.
And the last rights was actually saved then, was not used, otherwise that would have basically healed Bruiser up to full. So really nicely done by Bruiser for delaying that. Would have really healed Urel up to full by Bruiser. So Bruiser backs up, showing a lot of patience with his abilities so far.
Yeah, major kudos to the cooldown management by A-Team, right? They're not wasting any heroic abilities. Although Cocoon and Last Rites, for example, don't have the longest of cooldowns, they're still playing this very, very patiently and very, very well thought of. So they're splitting themselves up. Phoenix is taking the top temple, which is going to hammer down onto the keep there. They try to go for the beetle yet again, and they make him pop. Really good pickup there. Boss is ready.
That time they get him locked down too much. Doesn't matter how good your burrow is. If you're going to get caught out like that, then sometimes it can happen. Anub'arak's taking a tiny smidgen too long. And like you said, boss is up. Siege Giants are up. Boss is the target.
Yeah, they can take the boss and then take the Siege Giants off the A-Team after all. Look at the top lane though. The top temple is still occupied by the A-Team. They're going to get some tremendous damage done onto that keep. They might even get it all together.
Wow, this is greed.
Now they're playing it really greedily, but they can afford to do so because they realize there's at least one person up in the top temple. We still have vision onto Malthael in the middle and Phoenix as well, so they should be fine. And now, on the other hand, Tetcher, although they lost more structures in the base, TeamNut that is, they're going for this all-in push. Double mercenary
they might actually lose all 3 keeps here.
Yeah. Do they care though?
Shots?
I don't think they care.
Bottom keep survives, so yeah, they're just going to try and death push this because they just gave up a keep and very nearly 2 keeps from this. Here comes the Blessed Shield looking for Jaina. He has the Indomitable Spirit, the Unconquered Spirit, so he does survive anyway, which is fantastic news for him. Big red button is procs though. This is a statement of intent. In comes Anub'arak with the double stun, the Purification Salvo, getting some great damage. Cocoon is dropped. They want to listen. Buys them some time. Bruiser is in the backline as they push through. The silence is huge. A noob goes down. And Malthael is currently clearing out the Siege Giants for some reason instead of helping his team not lose. And we are going to see TeamNut pushing for the core. Bruiser all alone. And that is going to be GG. TeamNut take game number 1.
TeamNut, they did it. They took it all the way, being behind by such a large margin. I can't